Immediately following the release of Beyoncé's sixth studio album Lemonade, fans and critics were settled on the idea of it being her best project to date. If there was ever a debate about the artist's magnum opus, Lemonade ended that discussion. The LP's brilliant storytelling and eclectic sound renewed our appreciation of conceptual records. Adele herself had a difficult time accepting the Grammy for Album of the Year in 2017, as she expressed Beyoncé was more deserving.
I can't possibly accept this award, and I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful and gracious, but my artist of my life is Beyoncé, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyoncé, it was so monumental.
After such an artistic feat, most people were satisfied with Lemonade indefinitely holding the title as the singer's finest work. The idea of Beyoncé transcending even further seemed somewhat unfathomable. That is, until her most recent endeavor, Renaissance. With the overwhelming praise for the new record, the casual pastime of ranking Beyoncé albums has been revived. This time, fans are seriously considering whether Renaissance has outshined Lemonade or any of its predecessors. In this video, we will make a case for why Beyoncé's seventh studio album is potentially her greatest. We will explore the reasons for its genius, from the ultra-modern production and intricate vocal arrangements to its nuanced songwriting. All in all, it'll be much more difficult to conclusively say what Beyoncé's most outstanding effort is. Upon initial listening, fans instantly recognize the remarkable sequencing and transitions on Renaissance. Although broadly categorized as a dance record, the LP actually dabbles in a host of genres including disco, house, pop, R&B, trap, and gospel. Yet, somehow each song flows seamlessly into one another. Moreover, the album manages to keep listeners engaged without ever sounding jarring or monotonous. From the very beginning, we go from the thumping and anomalous I'm That Girl to a winding house number in Cozy. A little later, Cuff It's funky groove is a perfect follow-up to the fierce anthem Alien Superstar. One of the most rewarding transitions is when energy starts right after Cuff It. While the bass lines weave in from one another, the two songs are drastically different. In some ways, it feels as if both cuts could have been a single 6-minute track because of how smooth they sound together. Plastic on the Sofa, on the other hand, is a distinct point on Renaissance where the audience gets a much-needed sense of relief. For a brief 4 minutes, listeners bask in a relaxing harmony and falsetto-filled eargasm. As the album progresses, the transitions within songs are worth marveling over. Virgo's Groove, for instance, maintains our interest for an impressive 6 minutes because of its intertwining 3 sections. In a music industry that incentivizes short and sweet timestamps, Beyoncé is defying this norm. To put it another way, she is single-handedly curing our ADHD. Moving forward, the song Thick begins with a typical trap-style beat, but soon mutates into something more in line with techno and deep house. It's moments like this that make people feel as if they're undergoing an unprecedented music listening experience. What's more, regular Beyoncé fans are exposed to genres of music they might not often be inclined to hearing. After all, an artist's duty is to challenge their audience. Finally, the standout transition within a song lies in Pure Honey, as it starts with a ballroom beat perfectly suited for voguing. Eventually, the song transforms into a disco-funk record reminiscent of the singer's 2013 Blow. Even though Beyoncé has already proven to be especially meticulous with the arrangement of her albums, Renaissance showcases this talent at an all-time high. Still, there's plenty more basis for why the LP is likely the best of her career. If the ordering of Renaissance didn't embody excellence, then surely Beyoncé's vocal performances on the album did. Anyone familiar with the singer's catalog shouldn't be surprised by her execution of stellar leads, harmonies, and ad-libs. Nevertheless, on her most recent disc, we hear Beyoncé as more versatile and bold than ever before. Certainly, Renaissance is the artist's most unhinged record. Never before has the superstar sang, rapped, chanted, shouted, and beautifully harmonized all on a single project. On the song America Has a Problem, Beyoncé reveals her chameleon-like skills as she begins with a seductive vocal. It's not long before we're captivated by her slick and irresistible rapping. The 80s-inspired cut then goes into a harmonized and ad-lib-filled chorus that is worth keeping on repeat. Meanwhile, the Afrobeat track Heated finds Beyoncé arrogantly vamping at the very end in a way that fans have never heard her before. Similarly, Move demonstrates vigorous shouting while incorporating melodic singing during its second leg, again, making it painfully clear just how multi-talented Beyoncé is. Apart from this flexibility, listeners appreciate the breathtaking performances on Plastic on the Sofa, Virgo's Groove, and Summer Renaissance. The vocal acrobats Beyoncé pulls off on such songs have even prompted singing challenges online. That's how much fun it is to listen to the complexity of these arrangements. Not only do talented vocalists take aim at the difficulty, but amateur singers also find it worthwhile, no matter how bad they sound. With all that said, this isn't Beyoncé's first album to sport killer vocal performances. Therefore, more qualities are worth convincing fans that Renaissance is the artist's most praiseworthy feat. It's easy to mistakenly believe that the subject matter on Renaissance is superficial. However, the euphoric feel of the album masks its rich substance. For example, right from the beginning, we get a self-love anthem in the form of Cozy. The lyrics express being comfortable in one's own skin despite your adversities. Beyoncé empowers listeners by singing,
"She's a god, she's a hero, she survived all she been through, confident, and she lethal. I suggest you don't fuck with my sis, she comfortable."
The self-assured words on this song, similar to those on Alien Superstar and Pure, serve as affirmations for listeners rather than braggadocio. On the song Energy, Beyoncé inconspicuously takes a political turn. The first verse opens with the singer stating,
"Just vibe, from the 45, don't get out of line, yeah. Ooh, 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 pick a side. Only double lines we cross is dollar signs."
These lines are a direct reference to Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, losing his second term at office. The double lines Beyoncé mentions speaks to the rejection of bipartisanship on social issues. In other words, Beyoncé is signaling that ambivalence towards progressive politics is unacceptable. The best part about the lyrics is that they don't come off as didactic or contrived. Instead, they're substantive words that are hiding in plain sight. The end of Energy is where we find some of the most amusing lines on the album. As Beyoncé states,
"I just entered the country with derringers, cause them Karens just turned into terrorists."
After hearing this line, one can't help but to laugh. Though, audiences also appreciate Beyoncé's ability to incorporate layers on what would have otherwise been just another feel-good record. Church Girl, also a lyrically dense cut, is one of the most misunderstood tracks on the LP. Unfortunately, many people were misled into believing that the song is blasphemous or unnecessarily crass. It might have to do with Beyoncé's ingenuity of fusing gospel with trap. Of course, this caused people to believe that the song was a mindless twerk anthem.
Somebody done sold their soul to the devil. Now, all I can say to you is this. When you sell your soul to the devil, you get the short end of the stick. But this piece of trash that's released, and she named it Church Girl. Now, I had thought to try to read the lyrics to you, but I struggled to listen to them. It's too bad. It's too bad. It's not for public consumption.
Nonetheless, the song covers a woman's ability to triumph despite a history of misfortune and trauma. The story is about reclaiming joy in one's life and being unapologetic about seemingly contradictory behavior. On the second verse, Beyoncé passionately sings,
"Finally on the other side, finally found the urge to smile, swimming through the oceans of tears we cry."
Soon after, we get a complete switch up in the chorus as Beyoncé aggressively raps,
"Oh, drop it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. I said now pop it like a thotty, pop it like a thotty. We said now drop it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. Church girls acting loose, bad girls acting snotty. Let it."
Those who understand the cultural significance of twerking realize just how liberating the dance can be, which is why Church Girl has resonated so deeply with listeners. Lastly, who can forget the lead single Break My Soul? The number one hit speaks to the capitalist structure that so many people have become disillusioned by. Beyoncé critiques the insidious nature of full-time jobs when she sings,
Now I just fell in love, and I just quit my job.
Words such as these work as a rallying cry. They motivate audiences to have a revelatory moment in their lives, to find a new path, one that is more gratifying and self-sufficient. With all that said, Beyoncé is no stranger to exploring various themes on her songs. Hence, it's the combination of sonic and conceptual elements that makes Renaissance so exceptional. Ultimately, every Beyoncé fan is going to favor one project over another. At the end of the day, listening to music is a subjective experience. Still, there's reasons why Renaissance is receiving some of the most acclaim of the singer's career. Perhaps it's because we've never heard an album from Beyoncé as joyful. After 2 years of a global pandemic and social isolation, the record's timing couldn't have been any more perfect. Or maybe it's because of the immense replay value that the LP holds. Undoubtedly, the songs will continue to be played for months and years to come. Overall, the cohesive structure, brazen performances, and profound meaning behind the lyrics can persuade any Beyoncé fan to reconsider their favorite work by her. Realistically, it may be too soon to confidently say Renaissance is a superstar's best. A reasonable decision may require more time and space from the effort. But then again, Beyoncé just might outdo herself once more, as she always does, making this conversation harder than it already is. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. What are your thoughts about Renaissance? Do you agree or disagree with the sentiments provided? Lastly, would you consider it your favorite Beyoncé album? Why or why not?